apart Clio and rebuilt it from the foundations and made sweeping, huge changes and improvements that could really only be done with that foundational work that we did over the last year. To give you an idea of how hard we worked on this, we first of all synthesized 9 years of listening to you, our customers, which involved assimilating some of the feedback we received over 235,000 support interactions, over email, over phone calls, over live chat. We validated, just since January, our thinking with you in terms of the direction we were going with Apollo, with over 600 hours of customer interviews, over 60 days spent on site with law firms, showing them Apollo and walking through how Apollo worked, and over 4,000 comments we received back from beta testers and early access customers for Apollo in terms of what they saw and what they liked and wanted to see improved in those early versions of Apollo. And the culmination of all of that work is in the new Clio experience that you see here. It's hard to get across the scope of what we've accomplished with the new Clio experience in slides, and you really need to experience it hand-on, but I'm going to attempt to give you a high-level walkthrough of some of the fundamental design tenets we've applied and adhered to in redesigning and rethinking and reimagining Clio. And what you should see in these screenshots is something that looks familiar. We want you to recognize Clio and still feel at home, but also feel like we've made a huge renovation and improved almost every single aspect of how you use Clio on a day-to-day basis. So a few things that we've tried to accomplish here. Number one, we've tried to make every screen in Clio information rich, to put all the information you need at your fingertips. When you load up a given screen in Clio, we want to make sure that with as few clicks as possible, you've got every single relevant bit of information that you need to accomplish a given task at your fingertips on one screen without requiring a lot of clicking around navigation. You can also see that we've moved the navigation to the left, and this, the Matter dashboard screen, you can see that we've, in one screen, tried to present you with everything, all the high-level relevant details of Matter on just one screen. There's some really foundational work that has gone into the new Clio experience as well from an architectural level. We've built Clio in a way that's called a single-page application, which means that when you navigate through Clio, the full web page doesn't need to reload anymore. You get the information you need with just a partial page reload. And one way to think about this might be the difference between Hotmail and Gmail in terms of performance. The new Clio experience is faster than it's ever been before. And again, difficult to convey through slides, but one of our early access customers, Greg McLawson, I think said it best when he said the new Clio experience is fucking fast. Just how fast? Clio is 5 times faster than the previous version of Clio. Thank you. Let's talk about the frame for Clio's interface. If you look at just the frame, you can see that what we've tried to do is build a really clean information hierarchy. We've put a lot of time and energy into what is called information architecture and made it really easy for you to discern where you can click and how the information on a given page relates to other pieces of information on that page. We've also made a few subtle but important changes. You can see that the search has a more prominent location in the interface. We looked at usage behavior and realized that people use search extensively to navigate to the information they need in Clio. We've made search, first and foremost, a big piece of the navigation. We've also introduced the Timekeeper application that you can see in the top right and completely redesigned and rethought the timekeeping piece. And you can also see the side navigation is going to be collapsible. So if you need that extra little bit of screen real estate to get your job done, once you've linked which icons relate to which parts of the application, you can collapse that navigation to make navigating easier. The timekeeper has been completely redesigned to show you at a glance how much you've billed for a given day. And we've also made it easier than ever for you to copy a time entry from a previous day for a given matter into today and keep your day-to-day timekeeping really easy. We've also added a new global create that you can see in the top right of the navigation, where you'll easily be able to create new items like calendar entries or tasks or contacts or matters in any part of Clio. We've also rebuilt search from the ground up. We know the previous version of search in Clio, in some cases, left a lot to be desired. And the new search is unbelievable. Like I said earlier, we want to make search something that you can depend on to navigate through Clio as a basic navigation mechanism. We've introduced a completely new back end that accomplishes your search 20 times faster than the previous search, all while being more comprehensive than ever. For example, custom fields in Clio are now included in search results. Yes, I know. Thank you. And a couple of other things to highlight. The user experience. I want to compare and contrast a couple of areas of the previous version of Clio to the new Clio experience to show some of this design thinking at work. I know something that all of you do every single day is create new matters. And the new matters screen in Clio, over the course of 9 years, has become a bit unwieldy, if you're being generous. What you see here is 9 years of us incorporating customer feedback and new types of information we want to track in matters. But in the vein of effortless experiences, we've also made the task of just creating a simple, everyday matter harder than it should be. So here's the redesigned new matter screen in the new Clio experience, where you can see, thank you. You can see all of this design thinking at work, where we've made the 3 required fields for Clio, for a new matter, very easy to identify. We've made all of the optional information, something you can expand and fill out if you need to. But creating a new matter is something you can do in just a handful of clicks and a couple of seconds. This is the area I'm most excited to share. We know that getting paid is important. And as we saw from the legal trends report, all the overhead time in generating bills and tracking payments and so on, that goes into overhead. That goes into the missing 6 hours. And we want to be part of solving that problem. So here's the previous version of Clio and the way we would present an individual bill. And you can see to even see the entire bill or the entire invoice, you would need to scroll down and just click around a lot to navigate and see that information. Here's the new Clio experience, and all of that information consolidated onto one screen, where you can change options for a bill, see the payments that have been received for a bill, and see a PDF rendering of, or preview of that bill, all on one screen, with no navigation whatsoever. And I think this is a part of the overview that a lot of you are going to be excited about. This is the new receive payment screen in the new Clio experience. Something that has historically been very difficult in Clio is receiving payments against multiple bills. If I have an open balance for a client of, say, $12,000, and I want to record a partial payment of $2,200 against that $12,000, in the new Clio experience, I can click one button and have those payments automatically applied across all those bills in one step. Boom. Another great example of this workflow-related design improvement is doing bulk billing. And this is, again, something we've seen really, somebody's applauding already, just seeing the screenshot. Something that's really amazing for us as a company, but has also come with its challenges, is that in our very early days, Clio was designed for solos and small firms. For the first few years of our existence, for us, a large firm using Clio was a 3-person firm. We now have customers in the AmLaw 100 using Clio in their firms. So we see use cases for Clio ranging from, again, solos who will always be our foundation customers that we'll never turn away from, all the way up to firms with dozens or hundreds of lawyers and timekeepers that we need to accommodate. And bulk workflows are one of the places that we've seen a need for a lot of improvement from a workflow perspective. Bulk operations are now easier than ever. And one of the areas we've vastly improved this is in automatically approving and applying trust payments. Where you used to have to navigate to each individual invoice to apply payments, you can now select hundreds of bills at a time, and with one click, apply all available outstanding trust funds to those bills for payment. And to give you an example of how improved this workflow is, if you were working on 100 bills, in the previous Clio, it would take you an hour and a half working at a reasonably fast pace. We made somebody do it to apply all of those trust payments to the bills. In the new Clio experience, that's something you can get done in under 5 minutes. The new calendar is amazing. I'll use one word to describe the calendar, and that's beautiful. Another thing we're trying to build with Clio is a beautiful interface. We realize that Clio is something that many of you have open all day long. You are looking at Clio for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And aside from making your work easier, we want to make it beautiful and something that you enjoy looking at. And the calendar is a place that we've put a lot of that design thinking to work. And we think you'll be really excited by the new calendar. We've also made syncing email easier than ever. We have a brand new integration we're launching with Outlook for Office 365, and a very deep integration into Outlook for Office 365. We know that Outlook is a widely used and much loved product among lawyers, and the new integration that we're launching with Outlook, I think, realizes the dreams that many of you have of how Clio and Outlook might work well together. You can now, in the right sidebar with this Outlook integration installed, connect to, link emails directly into Clio from Outlook. You can, thank you. You can push attachments from Outlook directly into Clio's document management system, and you can track time directly from within Outlook as well as you're working on correspondence with your customers. So that's new Clio. If you're excited about what you're seeing with new Clio, be sure to use this hashtag on Twitter. Our team is paying attention to all the feedback you're giving over the course of the keynote. All in all, new Clio is deploying over 220 improvements to the product. Our team has worked tirelessly over the last year to deliver this to you, and I've only scratched the surface of what we delivered here. Right after my keynote, Eric and Ernie Bin will be walking through Apollo in more depth, talking about the design thinking that went into Clio. And over 20 sessions in Clio University will be deep diving on what we've built with Apollo. But I'm really, really excited by what we've built here, and it would mean a lot to me if all of you gave the Clio team a round of applause for the work that went into the new Clio experience. Thank you. So one question you might have is, the new Clio experience looks like it might be the perfect practice management system. We might have nailed it, and I think in a lot of ways we have. And we've moved not all the way, but substantially along this dimension of operational excellence. And where does this customer experience side of things come from? Where are we going to start folding this functionality into the project? And one project that we're launching today as we cap off Apollo and start on our next chapter is something we're calling Project Hermes, which is the Greek, the messenger of the gods for the Greek mythology fans. And what we're doing with Project Hermes is building a brand new version of Clio Connect as a mobile-first, cloud-first experience. And what we're thinking about in very broad terms is WhatsApp for lawyers, a WhatsApp that your clients communicate to you through a messaging interface. When we look at that legal trends report and look at what consumers are looking for from their lawyers, we see very clearly that they're looking for instant communications. They're looking for mobile-first communications. They want responsiveness. They want low friction. They want effortless experiences. How can we realize that vision? Through mobile, through a brand new application that we'll be launching and previewing to you here at ClioCon with a mobile-first Clio Connect experience. Really excited to share that with you. Thank you. And we think it's one small step in the direction of what we want to accomplish over the next 10 years in delivering a Clio to you that allows you to deliver amazing experiences to your clients. Now, I'm going to pay my respects to Steve Jobs and leave one big announcement for the close of the keynote, and that relates to the Clio platform. The Clio platform has been an unbelievable boon for our customers, and we want to double down on it in a big way. Just by a show of hands, who has an integration of some type activated in Clio, whether that's with Google or Outlook or one of our integration partners? I think that's almost everybody in the room. The platform is a really integral part of our vision for the future of the practice of law, and we're not going to be able to transform the practice of law for good alone. We're going to need some friends to do it, and that is our integration ecosystem. The Clio platform, since we launched it 5 years ago, has grown to over 60 integration partners. At ClioCon today, we're announcing 7 new integrations, some really exciting integrations. Tally, to name one, is an Alexa assistant that allows you to track time using your voice with one of the Alexa assistants. Another great integration we're launching was with Logical, which is an e-discovery cloud solution, and you'll be able to easily track your e-discovery billings and push those billings directly into Clio's billing system. And what we're doing at ClioCon today is doubling down on the platform in a really big way. We're launching API version 4, which only makes sense to you if you're a geek, but if you're a geek, you should be excited about this. For those of you that aren't geeks, the Application Programming Interface version 4 is a brand new version of our API that allows you to build your own tools and products on top of Clio. You can even build a custom solution just for your law firm using this API. If you think it would be cool to have a chatbot on your website that interacts with Clio in the back end and does things like create matters for you automatically, you can do that with API version 4 and maybe a couple of coding camps in the interim. Thank you. The API version 4 is something we've used in Clio's own mobile apps and in the new Clio experience. In a nutshell, if you can see it done in Clio, it can be done via the API. So that's big news for our integration partners and anyone that wants to build on top of the platform in terms of the capabilities that you have today. We're also launching a brand new app directory today, where our integration partners will be more discoverable than ever. You'll be able to more easily see category by category which integrations exist for Clio, and we've made it easier than ever to feature and highlight the integrations we're really excited about, and for you to find integrations that might help you in your practice. This I'm really excited about. We're launching a competition to help spur activity on the new API version 4 with the launch code competition. The launch code competition is going to be a prize that we award to the best new integration that is built against API version 4. The contest opens today, and over the next year, we'll accept submissions leading up to Clio Cloud Conference 2018. We'll select a handful of finalists, and at ClioCon next year, we'll run a Shark Tank-like part of the conference where we pick out of those handful of finalists which one's the winner. And we hope this will spur an unbelievable amount of activity that makes the progress we've made on the platform to date seem like nothing. The launch, I'm sorry, if you want to apply, you can go ahead, no problem. The launch code competition will culminate in a $100,000 award to the best new integration next year. One last thing. We're also doubling down on the platform with an additional investment. In addition to the $100,000 launch code prize, we're also announcing a first for the legal industry, which is a $1 million developer fund for us to have a fund to invest in and support new startups and new companies building against the Clio platform. We think that this will really pour gas on the fire and ignite the amazing progress we've seen in the platform over the last 5 years. And I think it's important for everyone in this room to realize that a thriving ecosystem on Clio is an unbelievably good thing. The platform succeeding in the way that it is means that legal innovation will be happening first on Clio. And the integration partners that are building on the Clio platform will be delivering new kinds of value to you, addressing needs and tailoring Clio to your practice areas in ways that Clio, the core product, never could. This is a huge win for you as customers. It's a huge win for any of you that want to get your hands dirty and start coding, building your own integrations, leveraging tools like Zapier, for example, that allow you to easily build your new integrations. This is a really big deal and something that I hope you're all really excited about. That's the platform. So some of you might be asking, when do I get the new Clio experience? And you get it right now. Everybody in this room has the new Clio experience enabled on their Clio accounts. You'll see a little green button in the top right where you can activate the new Clio experience. You can opt in and out of the new Clio experience, so you can kind of dip your toes in, see what you like, where you'd like to give us feedback. And again, leverage the next 2 days as an opportunity to talk face-to-face with our product development team in the Clio lab in the hallways here and give them feedback about what you're seeing with the new Clio experience. You're getting the new Clio experience weeks ahead of anybody else. We'll be doing the general release later in October, but everybody in this room gets early access, and we're super excited to hear your feedback. That's everything for the opening keynote. Thank you so much for your attention, and have a great 2 days here.
Thank you so much, Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a quick break coming up, 10-minute break, and there are some snacks in the lobby. Please.